Hey everyone, Joe Park here. Welcome to my 10-minute K-pop. Oh, gosh. This is going to be quite the 10-minute K-pop, guys. Well, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about K-pop rappers, or K-rappers, and the N-word. Yeah, it's one of those. Alright, so what inspired me today to do this topic? Well, an hour ago, technically I'm doing this, a day before, so about an hour ago on Thursday, Jazzy Group US, who I'll explain who they are in a minute, Jazzy Group US uploaded or shared a video from Korea Boo, with Zico rapping on stage, and in his rap, the song I'm Still Fly, he says the N-word, and people are up in arms kind of about it, even though it's not that many people, because it's only been an hour who saw it. It's only been an hour, so not many people have seen it yet, but people are already up in arms. Like, I hope he doesn't say this when he comes to the US, so if he has a solo, I hope he doesn't say that. And people are just like, oh, he shouldn't say that, he should know better, so on and so forth, and he's not the only one. If you are real, true, hardcore BBC, you may want to give the excuse he doesn't know English. That's kind of true. But then, here comes, like a while ago, BTS performed a cover of Shinhwa's This Love and T.O.P. on Show Champion, I believe. And in the song T.O.P. by Shinhwa, there is the N-word present, and I'll explain that one as well in a minute. And Rap Monster, without hesitation, uses the N-word from the song. Oh my god, people were up in arms in the comments. He speaks English, he should know better, he shouldn't say that, we demand an apology for this. Insincerity, what is this? Madness. I'll get to that in a minute. So, with Zico, Jazzy Group US is allow me to explain who they are. Jazzy Group US is basically the people, the group that promotes K-pop artists traveling outside of their countries. Outside of, really outside of the main part of Asia, the big three if you want to, so China, Korea, and Japan. They promote stuff like going to Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, India, where else? Like Europe, the US, Canada, and South America. They promote the rest of the world, basically. And they're basically the place that you want to like them, so you can get updates and know who's coming where. So you know what K-pop artist is coming near you next, and it's pretty cool. Now, about this whole N-word business. I'm going to explain BTS first with Rap Monster because it's a lot easier. So, if you don't know who Shinhwa is, don't worry about that. Oh, at least you don't have to worry too much about it. So, Shinhwa is a really old, like, first generation K-pop idol group that's been together ever since their debut without breaking apart once, which was amazing. And they've been together for, I think, 15-16 years as of now, as of today. So, when they first debuted, way back in 1990 something, their second song, or the second album that they did, had their promotion song, I think, was called T.O.P. or Twinkling of Paradise. Now, there was no controversy back then, I think, but the original song, in the beginning, there is a part where Junjin, I think it's Junjin or Eric, one of them, they have an English rap in the very beginning. And of course, there's the obligatory, I'm going to try to sound cool, N-word. That's really what it was for. But anyway, during the time frame of that song, though, there was not as many African American foreigners in Korea as there possibly, most likely is today. So words, the N-word, curse words, anything like that, anything that was way back in the 1990s, that stuff was used to sound cool, obviously. And of course, the N-word must have been overused to some extent because there wasn't that many African American people there, and two, it sounded really cool. 3, Korea just didn't know how offensive it may have been, and of course they don't really brush up on American history since none of them are American. So yeah. Now with all the explanation I just gave you guys should already kind of know something about what the half of what the issue is here. And now the other half of the issue has to go to BTS. Now, Rap Monster, we all know, does speak English, speaks it very well. He's very good. He knows how to curse. We all know that. He really does know how to curse. Not gonna lie. But anyway, so people are all up in arms that how dare he say that? How dare their company make him say that? This makes no sense. So on and so forth. We demand an apology. All that great stuff. I personally don't think that it was that bad. Like, I don't know, it could just be me because I'm a fangirl. I just want to hear him speak English. Teehee. But like, going past that though, I don't think that it's that bad that it needs an apology or whatever. Like, there's just a lot, and I'm going to kind of explain very briefly about Zico as well. So with Zico, the thing is that in his song I'm Still Fly, he was rapping on stage, and he ends up saying the N-word because it's in his song, like that's part of the song, and all that great stuff. And people, even though it has been just about an hour, maybe 2 hours or so, people are kind of just like back and forth. They're kind of like, one person thought he said the word nega, which is I am in Korean, instead of the N-word, but then people are like, oh no, he's definitely saying N-words. Like, he's definitely saying that, and people are like, oh, I don't like it when people say it. He shouldn't say it. I'm reading the comments right now. 2 people here said, why does he have to say the N-word though? And I hope it doesn't say if he has a live when everyone goes to see them. Now, here's what I think about the issue, and this is my own personal opinion, and I just want you guys to understand that beforehand. This is my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm not speaking for the whole race of us, and I would love to see other African American people that are into K-pop on YouTube talk about this as well. If they haven't already, of course. I don't care. I personally just don't care. And the reason really is because they're not using this offensively. This is the exact main thing here. I know that they're not using this word offensively. That's just really what it is. Unless they are really directing a rap towards African Americans in general, and they're using this word as an insult, which they are not, mind you. This word was not used as an insult, especially in Shinhwa's song T.O.P. Unless this word was used as an insult, then I would say that there's something wrong, and they shouldn't say that, but they're not using it as an insult. They're really just using it as, well, a word to sound cool, to fit in with all the crazy English that goes on in Korea, because we all know they're like English. Hi, hello. That is what makes K-pop great, English. But of course that word has been confused with a whole bunch of other words. Anyway, like I said, I just don't believe that the word's being used in an offensive manner, because if it was, then I'd be like, oh, well, they probably shouldn't say that, but they're not. They're not being used offensively. If, like I said, if this was just something that, you know, they just had to say, or they're pretty much, you know, no, they're pretty much saying this to sound cool. This is being put under the rap context. Like, that's what this word is being used under. So it doesn't matter if they're using it or not. Like, if they didn't use it, the rap wouldn't be any more clean, and it wouldn't be any more dirty, because Zico's made plenty of songs about sex. Like, I've seen some of his songs. They talk about sex, and he didn't use the N-word in there once. No one said anything about those. Heck, as a matter of fact, Miss A and their song Hush, everybody who's anybody and their grandma talks about Susie growing up and wanting sex and everything. Oh my god, it's so terrible. But the moment Zico or anyone else does a song about sex, everyone's like, yes! What about Rain-Ism? No one said anything about that. He didn't even use the N-word, and no one really talked about that, that's interesting to know. But that's another issue, of course. Anyway, there's not a huge issue with this, and I'm going to kind of go a little bit over the 10-minute K-pop thing because this is kind of an issue that I really want to talk about. So, when it comes to any K-pop rapper using the N-word in particular, again, it's not being offensive, so I don't see it offensively, and I say go ahead if you're going to rap it in your songs. Who cares? I grew up with rap music. I grew up with old African American music, soul music if you must. They use that word quite a bit. What about rappers of like now? Like, they use the word too. It's not like this is some forbidden word that shouldn't be used by anyone who's not African American. People who are African American also use it to describe people who are not African American. Like, I've seen it in school a lot. As a matter of fact, one of my Caucasian friends referred to one of our mutual Asian friends as the N-word as well. If that's not globalization of the word, I don't know what to tell you guys. The main part I'm saying here is this. The N-word has lost effect over the years. Now, I'm saying that as it coming from a rap perspective or a music-like perspective, that word really is not part of an offensive term anymore, and of course casually as well. Now, if some person who was not African American walked up to someone who was African American on the street and pointed at them and was being vulgar and said the N-word, then yes, that is offensive. But they're not saying that in these songs. So you guys really shouldn't be up in arms demanding apologies, saying that they shouldn't say that because it's not offensive. Like, they're not using this as a bad word. And I'm pretty sure even if Zico did do the song I'm Still Fly in Florida, where there's tons of us, and in New York, and I think where else, Washington, they're going to these major cities where, you know, stuff like that, like, there's tons of us that do that, and we listen to it all the time. So words like this, like that's nothing now, because the effect of the word has been dulled down so much. Like I said, if it was used offensively, then yes, they positively should not say it, and they should probably, you know, remove it or change the word however they did, or edit that song, or, you know, whatever they're going to do. But since they're not using it offensively, there's no one really being hurt by this. Like, they're not saying this offensively, they're not saying it directly to African Americans for whatever reason. And trust me, a lot of their other songs have much deeper content. And I'm talking about in any range, but no one talks about those. Which, I'm talking about my next 10-minute K-pop. You're gonna like that, trust me. There's no point in you guys being up in arms about, you know, Korean rappers saying the N-word, or anyone saying the N-word. Because like I said, if you listen to first generation idol music, K-idol music, or K-rap music, tons and tons of curse words being thrown at you all the time. But that's just the time, and now they're just doing it under the rap genre. So now it doesn't even matter if they're doing it underneath the rap genre, because no one really got offended because, you know, this person, no one's getting offended because Drake said the N-word in his song. Like, no one's getting offended by that. That's just part of the song. No one's getting offended because Lil Wayne said the N-word like 15 times in his music. I'm talking about just all of them, or most of them anyway. Like, no one's getting offended by that. So why would you be offended now that someone who wasn't African American is doing that? That's a double standard almost. That's like a double standard on race, and that's ridiculous. So I don't see a problem with it. Keep using the N-word, just not offensively. That did not come out right now. I just thought about that. Oh well. Either way, guys, I just don't see an issue with this. If you guys do see an issue with this, though, I would love to know why, you know. Like, I would love to hear you guys talk more and more about this in the comments below. Or you can also go to my K-pop blog, which I have open. Yay! And, of course, you guys can go over there and we can talk about, you know, this N-word issue over there. But, of course, you have to be nice. No cursing, everybody. And make sure you don't use the N-word offensively. Make sure you don't do that. So if you're not African American yourself, At least be happy when you say that. At least be happy when you talk to your friends. Anyway, guys, this 10-minute K-pop turned into a 15-minute K-pop. I'm sorry. But this was a huge issue. I just kind of wanted to get off my chest because stuff like that just piles up on people. You don't even know. So I just wanted to let you guys know. I do have my giveaway going on still. Make sure you go up for that. And I also entered for the Sumpi Shows Your K-pop giveaway. So make sure you look out for that as well. And I'm going to see you guys on my vlog. Alright everyone, annyeong!